Hi, I'm Ethan Green from NoSleeplessNights.com, and in this video I'm going to be doing a review of the YogaSleep Travel Mini White Noise Machine. It really does deserve the word mini because it is the smallest white noise machine I've discovered from reviewing dozens of white noise machines over many years. And it also has the internal rechargeable battery and the nightlight, so it's a good one for people who are looking to take a white noise machine with them when they're travelling or perhaps to use in their kids' bedroom. I paid just under £35 in the UK for this one, although at the moment you can get it in the US for just under $25, so it's a pretty budget white noise machine as well. So let's go over to the table where I'm going to play through the sound, show you the features and the nightlight, go through some pros and cons, and then we'll wrap up at the end. Okay, so the first thing to talk about is the power. It came with a small micro USB to USB cable, so you can use a longer one if you've got one in the house, or use this one to keep it plugged in, and that way you don't need to worry about the battery. But the internal rechargeable battery is one of the main draws of using this white noise machine. This little hole here is the charging indicator, which isn't on at the moment because I'm not charging it, but it will flash or steady hold to tell you whether it needs charging or whether it's fully charged. So before I play through the sounds, let's talk about the buttons, because on the top there you've got the speaker, but the buttons are on the underneath. As you can see, they're really quite small. Let me try and find an angle where you can see them. There they are. They're really, really tiny, almost like Braille, I think. I'm not a Braille reader, but those are so small and they're kind of difficult to see in the dark and kind of difficult to see in the daytime as well, if I'm honest. There are 5 buttons. You've got power on and off in the center there. Then you've got this little sun one here for the night light. Then you've got volume down, volume up, and the sound choice. So I'm going to play through all the different sounds so you can have a listen. And then when I get to the last sound, I'll play through the volume so you can hear it on the lowest and the maximum volume setting. So let's start, and I'm not going to talk while I play through the sounds. And there you go, those are the sounds. Personally, I quite like all 6 of them. However, I think the Thunderstorm struggles a little bit with this little speaker, as it does with many white noise machines that don't have a bigger speaker, to be honest. I'm not sure that Thunderstorm is the best one to include in a speaker of this size. However, I really like the Stream, I like the Gentle Surf. The deep white noise is kind of okay as well, kind of sounds more like a fan than a deep white noise. The original Dome is great. It has the recorded sound of the Dome Uno, Dome DS, one that I know Dome lovers will really appreciate having in this portable device, so they don't need to take the very large Dome machine with them if they're traveling. And then there's the brown noise as well. So I think for me, these are really good sounds. It would have been good to have more sound choice, but really it's rare to have more sounds on such a small white noise machine. So now let's look at the nightlight function. Here we can see that we've got the light button there. If I press it here, during the daytime, you're not going to be able to see much. There we go. Oh, you can see it through my camera. That's good. Wasn't expecting that. So you've got 3 dimmable options. You've got low brightness, medium, and high brightness, or off if you want to. And you can see that it's got this really nice amber glow. So let me show you a video that I've already taken in a kid's bedroom so you can really see it in action. And it's a really nice glow, and I like the fact that it's got the dimmable options. And then the inclusion of the lanyard is great as well, because then you can hang it wherever you like in the room. So it just adds another element of portability. So if you want to hang it on the inside of the door, then that's a great option if you're going to be walking into a kid's room and checking on them in the night. So personally, I really like the nightlight, and there's something else that I like, which is that you don't need to turn the sounds on, the main power button, to operate the nightlight. You can operate the nightlight independently. So that's a really good little feature. It means that you don't need to turn the power on and turn the sounds on. You can just have the night light. Talking about the size again, one of the main draws of this white noise machine is that it's so small. It weighs just 0.3 pounds and it's 2.5 by 2.5 by 1.77 inches. It comes with a 1-year warranty and a 100 night trial or 101 night trial, which is great as it means that you can test it out, and if you don't like it, send it back and get your money back. As for the design, I really like the look of the Yoga Sleep Travel Mini. It's very sleek, very minimal. You can pop it on a bedside table or any table really, and it looks quite nice. It's going to sit there without looking too ugly, which some white noise machines do. One of my main complaints with the Yoga Sleep Travel Mini is these buttons, really. I think they're kind of tricky to operate, especially in the nighttime. So if you've got finger sensitivity issues or vision problems, then you're not going to find this very easy to use. For me, I found the best thing to do in the night is work out that the one next to the lanyard is the volume up and the one opposite is volume down. And then you kind of just need to know that if you go right, you've got the light, and if you go left, you've got the sound choice. But yeah, again, it's not very good if you need to work out that kind of system. It would have been better to have some clearer, easier buttons, I think. Okay, now let's talk about some pros and cons quickly of the Yoga Sleep. For me, I think the main pros are, well, as I've already mentioned, the portability, the tiny size. I think it's really good if you're using it for travel. I like the fact that it's got a night light. That's always a useful feature with a white noise machine. And I also like the fact that it has an internal rechargeable battery. So really, this one is great for portability, convenience, and practicality overall. The price is another good point about this one. It's a budget white noise machine, definitely not the higher end of the range that can get up to $100 or £100. So yeah, if you're not looking to spend an enormous amount on a white noise machine, this is one to consider. Okay, in terms of the downsides, for me the first thing would be the fact that it doesn't have any timers. I think it's good to have an auto-off timer rather than have to listen to it continuously and have it playing all night while you're asleep. Secondly, I think the fact that it only has 6 sounds is a bit disappointing. It'd be nice to have a few more sounds in there, but at least the ones that it's got are pretty good. And like so many white noise machines, particularly smaller ones, it does lack bass. There's not much energy at the lower frequencies of the white noise. So really, if you're trying to block out your neighbour's bassy music or footfall from upstairs, then you're going to struggle with this little device, I think. So really, it's going to be one that's better for blocking out mid to higher frequency external noise rather than anything that's really booming through your walls. It's not going to be the one for that. One of the biggest cons for me is the fact that it has those tiny little buttons, so it's just a bit of a difficult machine to use in the dark compared to some of the others that have giant buttons that are clearly labelled, for example. So my final verdict on the Yoga Sleep Travel Mini is that it's great for portability. I like the fact that it's got a night light and it has the internal rechargeable battery, and dome lovers will like the fact that they can have that rushing air sound with them when they're travelling. Just be prepared for some tricky buttons and a relatively basic speaker that reflects the low price. And that's about it for my review of the Yoga Sleep Travel Mini. I hope that you found it useful. If you're interested in buying it, then you can find a link to do so in the description below. And please also subscribe to my YouTube channel to keep in touch and see future reviews. Thanks again. This is Ethan from No Sleepless Nights.